whatever your reason to go to a cloud configuration, it's a great environment for quick access to resources and a dependable environment that you can build your business upon. Although, as you plan your journey to the cloud, there are things that you need to be aware of when it comes to compliance and security of your environment. Now, are cloud environments secure? Absolutely. I'm a firm believer that they're very secure. Actually, I would say that most cloud environments are probably more secure than a majority of the standalone infrastructures that exist in organizations throughout the globe. And the primary reason for this is because they have the resources to do the job right. They're hosting a lot of people's workloads, and security is very important to them. And for many cloud providers, you can get different levels of security as well within your environment. So this discussion here that we're going to have on the screen now really doesn't have to do with, is a cloud service provider the right choice? I believe that it is. Is a cloud service provider secure? I believe it is as well. The challenge, though, is how do I meet compliance or regulatory requirements like GDPR, CCPA, DFARS, PII, and others within a cloud infrastructure? And there are some challenges that need to be worked through, and I've highlighted some of those here on the screen. So we'll start there with number one here. Now on the 1st of December, you've set up your environment to comply with all of the requirements for DFARS, and everything is squared away, and the system is compliant. You've done everything that you need to do. You're good to go. Now, there may have been 50 or 100 different things that you tweaked or moved around, or settings that you implemented. You started multi-factor authentication, or you implemented encryption. All of those things, key factors and requirements that are within the compliance or policy or regulatory requirement that you have. And then moving over to number two, on the 15th of December, just 2 weeks later, you ask yourself, is my environment still secure? So you begin to explore. Now, immediately you think, well, there should have been a digital footprint, a starting off point. This is where, these are all of the settings I made within my environment, and we're good to go because I was compliant on the 1st of December. Now, compare, let's do a similar snapshot of all of my security settings, and are we still secure? Are all of those settings that I made on the 1st of December the same as they are on the 15th of December? Now, for most cloud environments, this number one and number two is a challenge. It's a struggle. So make sure that you ask your cloud service provider if they perform this type of service, that you have access to run a digital footprint of what right looks like, right, on the 1st of December in this example. And can you run subsequent footprints to do a comparison to make sure that those settings have not been modified in any way? Now, down on number three, the second thing you want to check is to make sure that that event log is actually producing events that tell you whether those configuration changes have been made. So if somebody gets into your cloud environment and starts changing the settings related to encryption or multi-factor authentication, you put your entire workload at jeopardy. So do the event logs, they're represented number three, do they represent that something has occurred within the environment? And do you have access to those event logs? Can you get to them easily? For many cloud environments, this again can be a little bit of a challenge, as those event logs may be in 12 different places and you have to do and jump through all types of hoops to get to them. Or maybe those event logs are a little cryptic in that they are just telling you of a baseline that the cloud service provider decided to create and call good. And then any reports that you get are really based on the baseline that the cloud service provider thinks is the baseline you need to be going by. So obviously that's not a working model in the world where compliance standards are very fluid and there are many, many new policies coming out. Then number 4 there, can I automatically deliver those audit logs? Now for years this was a struggle for many cloud service providers, but this has changed a lot in the past, and we have a little easier time doing this today. So are those audit logs automated to a point where I can go to my cloud service provider and say I want to see all of the audit logs that are coming off of my access authorization system, whatever that is, Active Directory or LDAP? Can I see all of my encryption-based events that may occur? Those type of event logs that you would get in a normal logical or physical infrastructure, non-cloud. Can I have access to that information in a cloud environment? And then can I deliver it somewhere that I can ingest it through my log aggregators that I'm using? In most cases, may not be in the cloud itself. They may be on my local site. So you need to figure out and ask the question of where are those audit logs going to be delivered, and can they be delivered automatically for you in a format that you can then ingest into whatever tool you're using to do a comparison there in number 5, perhaps using artificial intelligence to audit the logs, look at the policy, and be able to easily tell you the health or the integrity of the controls that you have implemented back in step number 1. So this is just a large cycle of events that indicate whether or not our environment is still secure. And we need to have that flexibility to be able to design our own digital footprint, call it good, or what good looks like, what right looks like, and then constantly be running comparisons against what good looks like in a manner that we are accustomed to with log aggregation, SIM, and other types of automation.